In compliance with Chapter 231 of the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice have been given to all members of the governing body, the local source, and the Westfield Leader, the two newspapers designated to receive such notice. This notice is also posted on the Borough Hall bulletin board. I'd like to stand for an invocation from Councilman Elaine.
Dear Lord, please pray for the members of our fire, rescue squad, and police. Please pray for our armed services serving our country at home and overseas. And please pray for the safety and well-being of our children and of all residents of Mountainside. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call for roll call, please.
Councilwoman Andre? Here. Councilman Lane?
Here.
Councilman Messmer?
Here.
Councilman Mortimer?
Here.
Councilman Turner?
Here.
Councilman Was is absent.
Tonight, we have an annual proclamation for the Mabel Young Good Neighbor Award. And I'd like to call upon Bill Giannone to come forward and make that presentation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mayor Mirabelli, council members. That's a lot of Sandy.
Who's getting the award, Bill?
I think we'll leave it a secret till the end.
Hey, Bill?
It
Mr.
is-
Giannone?
Yes. All right, the cat's out of the bag. It is truly my distinct honor and pleasure to present the 2010 Mabel Young Award to Miss Sandy Burge. Please come up. Now, anybody who knows Sandy knows that this is certainly something that's the first thing that she would never want to be associated with would be the recipient of one of these awards. She loves to be on the other side giving them out. But anybody who lives in Mountainside knows Sandy, and if you don't, there's a real good chance that Sandy knows you anyway, because there isn't an organization, a group, or an individual in this town that Sandy hasn't touched in a very meaningful way. The Burges moved to town here in 1970 with their two young children, and being the person that Sandy is, she immediately got involved in some small things. She, like many of us when we came here, joined the Newcomers Club and worked her way up to be president of that. She got involved when her children got into school and became part of the PTA and eventually became president of that as well. And found a lot of different things to do to keep herself occupied on the side while getting involved with her church, getting involved with the Mountainside Music Association. And life was going along very well, and tragedy befell her family when her son Scott tragically passed away in 1977 after a bicycle accident. And it was something that most of us would have had a very difficult time dealing with. Not only did Sandy deal with it, she overcame it in a way that made her such a special person. Scott had a love for baseball, and Sandy decided to put a little bit of her time and effort into baseball, and she volunteered for the baseball board here in Mountainside. And over the course of two different 10-year spans, she put 20 years of her life into Mountainside Youth Baseball, and to this day is the only female president at Mountainside Youth Baseball's history. Aside from baseball, Sandy got involved in the Board of Ed, where she was asked to fill in for a spot and then continue to stay on the Board of Ed as a member there for several years. She donated a lot of her time and efforts to the United Way, to the Mountainside Recreation Commission, to the Centennial Committee. She's involved with Friends of the Library. She's a very active member at her church. She's been a part of the Mabel Young Committee for several years and was responsible for voting on many of the people here in this room who are previous recipients of the award. She's also done many of those other things that we think about of our neighbor. She'll help drive her friends around. She'll visit Brighton Gardens. She will do lots of things that a good neighbor does. You know, in the definition of the neighbor in the dictionary, one of the definitions says, a person who shows kindliness or helpfulness toward his or her fellow humans. I can't think of a better definition of a person, and I can't think of a better recipient for this award this year than Sandy Birch.
Wow. Thank you so much for this honor. I think it really is a special honor for me, too, because one of the first groups I did get involved in was the PTA, and that's where I met Mabel. And Mabel seemed to be involved in a million things. And when she left town, when she retired and moved to Florida, a group of people decided to honor her with a dinner. And someone, while we were organizing this dinner, said, you know, Mabel wore a lot of hats in this town. So appropriately, at the dinner, people wore hats depicting all the organizations that Mabel was in. And I think she was a little overwhelmed when she saw that, kind of like what I feel like now. But needless to say, I loved all the things I've done in town, and I hope maybe I'll find some new things to do for as long as I can do it. Mountainside is a great place. Not only is it beautiful, but the people are fabulous. And I think if it wasn't for the good people of Mountainside, Hal and I would have retreated after Scott died and just sort of, you know, given up. But people sort of urged us to get involved, and this town is so great. If you have a problem, you call someone, there's so many people to rely on, and they'll be on your doorstep in 2 minutes. It's just a wonderful town, and I think the spirit of volunteerism is what makes it so unique. So I just hope I can find some more things to do to make this a better place. And I'd urge all of you who aren't involved, because it's a great way to meet new people, and or people you haven't met, and to help the town. And really, there are lots and lots of good neighbors in this town. So thank you very much.
Sandy, if you ever run out of things to volunteer, we can certainly come up with some things for you to do. As is customary at this time of the evening, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're going to force all of you to stay tonight for the whole council meeting. No, you're certainly welcome to leave. We won't take any offense at that.
Clear the days.
Know how to empty your room.
Doesn't a bulb need to be changed?
We're ready to go? Okay. Next, we have the approval of the minutes. Is that mic a little loud?
I'll take care of it.
Okay, I don't need it. We have approval of the regular and executive session meeting minutes for March 16th, 2010. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Abstain.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have the minutes of the work and executive session meeting for April 6, 2010. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Call the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Abstain.
Councilman Lane?
Abstain.
Councilman Messler?
Abstain.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Abstain. Oh, yes, I'm just,
Is that enough to approve them, two votes? No? No. I have to put that on for next,
Okay.
okay. Next, we have Resolution 65, 2010. Bill, you want to take that?
Yep. This resolution approves temporary appropriations under NJSA 48:4-19 of the Local Budget Act into the temporary budget for year 2010 as recommended by the borough's Chief Financial Officer, Jill Good.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion, we have a second, poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 66, 2010. Glenn?
This resolution will authorize the borough's chief financial officer, Jill Good, to purchase savings bonds in the amount of $300 for valedictorian and $200 for the salutatorian from the 2010 Deerfield 8th grade graduating class.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 67, 2010. Keith?
Resolution 67-2010 is a resolution that will authorize the Borough Engineer, Mike Disco Jr., to advertise for bids for the construction of a full-size basketball court to be located on the Our Lady of Lourdes property under dual grants from the County of Union and the Watts Mountainside Community Foundation. So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
Second, poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 68, 2010. Bob?
Yes, this resolution also will authorize Borough Engineer Mike Disco Jr. to advertise for bids for a pothole repair contract not to exceed $25,000. So moved.
Second.
Poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 69, 2010. Deanna?
A resolution appointing Sean Schofield as playground supervisor at $3,037 with Erin McGee, Bridget Greeley, Dylan Turner, and Tanya Bornstein as assistant supervisors, each at $2,170. All positions are part-time without benefits and shall not exceed 27 and a half hours in 1 week.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
Poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
I recuse myself.
Next, we have Resolution 70, 2010.
Resolution 70-2010. You didn't say my name, Paul. What do you want me to do? Resolution 70-2010, having the community pool snack bar contract awarded to Cafe Wells on April 15th, 2008, the mayor and council wish to exercise our option and extend that said contract for the one last available year. The resolution will confirm that option in the amount of $8,075 for the 2010 pool season. So moved.
Second.
We have a second. Poll the council.
Second.
We have 2
Councilwoman-
seconds.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Councilwoman
third.
Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 71, 2010. Bill?
Having a recent resignation from the construction department, this resolution will authorize the transfer of the petty cash fund from the construction department to the Department of Public Works under Director Ronald Romack. I make that motion.
Second.
Poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner?
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 72, 2010. Bob?
Yes, this resolution will, as recommended to the Borough Council by Engineer Mike Disco Jr., will authorize a road opening permit in front of 1157 Globe Avenue within the 5-year moratorium for the purpose to upgrade water service to increase productivity, thereby increasing the number of employees. However, there will be certain conditions necessary to be met prior to the issuing of the permit. So moved.
You have a second?
Second.
Poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner.
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 73, 2010. Deanna?
As a nonprofit organization, the Mountainside Softball Association has asked the mayor and council to waive permit fees for the connection to the sanitary sewer line to their new fields located on borough property between Deerfield School and Our Lady of Lourdes property. This resolution will authorize and waive those fees.
Second.
Call the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner.
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 74, 2010. Bob?
Yes, this resolution will authorize a refund to the American Water Company in the amount of $1,027 issued to the borough in error for police overtime traffic job. So moved.
Second.
Call the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner.
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 75, 2010. Bill?
Having the need for a part-time temporary tax assessor due to the unfortunate illness of our current tax assessor, Eldo Magnani, this resolution will authorize the hiring of Michael Frangello as the borough's part-time temporary tax assessor at the rate of $55 per hour, effective March 9, 2010.
Second.
This is with the understanding that any settlements that he recommends will be approved by a borough administrator. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor.
And how is Aldo doing? Do we know?
Aldo is doing fine. He was going to come in today, as a matter of fact, but he did not get his approval from his doctor to drive yet, so he thought he was going to be able to, but
And once he comes back, what's the plan with Mr. Frangella? We're going to keep him on for a while to help him out, or?
well, we'll see, depending upon how Aldo feels, but that's our plan.
Okay.
To keep him on for, a day or two. He's only here one day a week. So if he stays 2 days with Aldo, you're talking about maybe 6 hours,
Okay.
okay?
We have a motion and a second. Call the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner.
Yes.
Next, we have Resolution 76, 2010. Keith?
Resolution 76, 2010 is a resolution that will authorize the indemnification to the officers of our police department arising from complaint docket number UNN-L-1289-09 as provided under NJSA 40A:14-155. So moved.
Second.
Okay, poll the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner.
Yes.
Next, we have first reading of ordinance 1167-2010. There'll be no public input. Glenn?
Okay, this is an ordinance to amend Chapter 9, Building and Housing of the Code of the Borough of Mountainside pertaining to the fee for the issuance of a continued certificate of occupancy.
Do you have a motion?
Second.
This, I understand, is at the recommendation of our new construction official, Jerry Iger.
That's correct, Mr. Mayor.
That's correct?
Yes.
Call the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner.
Yes.
Next, we have bills and claims. Glenn?
Okay, be it resolved by the mayor and council of the Borough of Mountainside that the following bills of the persons named and for the amounts stated below, having been duly audited and found to be correct this 20th day of April 2010, the same be paid after council's review, if and when funds are available, and that the mayor, council president, administrator, and treasurer are hereby authorized and directed to sign and deliver warrants for same. Total $1,302,345.43.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
As always, the bill list is available from Martha, right? The clerk's office. Call the council.
Councilwoman Andre?
Yes.
Councilman Lane?
Yes.
Councilman Messler?
Yes.
Councilman Mortimer?
Yes.
Councilman Turner.
Yes.
Next, we have any council comments?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to read something on behalf of the library.
Sure.
Thank you. As council will remember, 2009 was a banner year at the Mountainside Public Library. We commemorated the library's 75th anniversary and marked the year with new record highs reported in number of checkouts, number of reference interactions, program attendance, number of computer logins, and number of online database searches. The total value of all items checked out in 2009 was $1,631,908. 2010 is continuing the upward trend. Year-to-date, the number of checkouts is just beating last year's figures, 19,140 items versus 19,137, and program attendance for the first quarter of 2010 is up 27% over the previous year. Computer logins are up 20% over the same period, and online database searches are up an astounding 131%. This reflects a nationwide trend in increased library use, and is something we are very proud of in Mountainside. A few other notes. This week, the Friends of the Mountainside Library will hold their spring book sale. Donations of hardcover and softcover books, DVDs, and CDs will be accepted until 3 p.m. on Thursday, April 22nd. There will be a special preview night for Mountainside residents that evening, Thursday, April 22nd, from 7 to 8:30 p.m. The official book sale day is Saturday, April 24th, from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Proceeds from the sale benefit the Friends of the Mountainside Library and go toward the many programs they support. Also, as counsel to the Mountainside Library, council liaison to the Mountainside Library, I would like to give a special thanks and congratulations on behalf of all of us at the Mountainside Public Library to Sandy Burge for being awarded the Mabel Young Good Neighbor Award. Sandy has been an active member and officer of the Friends of the Mountainside Library for many years, and we're all thankful for her involvement with and support of the Mountainside Public Library. Thank you.
Any other comments? Even though I'm no longer a member of council, I'd like to make a comment. I'd like to just reiterate something that Sandy Burge touched on tonight, that the reason that Mountainside is such a fantastic community is because of all the volunteers. And certainly there was nothing more evident on this past Saturday down at the Little League field. I am sure that we had more than 500 kids that participated. I can't count the number of volunteers we had from Mountainside Youth Baseball, Mountainside Softball Association, and from the Mountainside Recreation Department. My count was we have over 31 teams that are participating in either baseball or softball this year, and it's truly something that Mountainside can be proud of, and it's just one more bit of evidence as to the tremendous volunteerism that we have in this town. I'd like to thank everyone, as I did on Saturday, for volunteering. Next, we have any audience participation. If you want to turn that podium around, sir, it might be a little easier for you to talk. There you go.
Mario Martinelli, 267 Noquest Road. I was here August to September, October, I think one of those. You know the problem I have with the hole in the front of my house, with the pipe and everything else? I mentioned to you that in 40 years I was in that house, I never got a drop of water. The last big rain I had there, I had a foot of water. The fire department came over there and pumped me out. Now, I've been trying to explain to you people that the water had to go somewhere, so I found a hole in my house. It's coming down in my basement now. Now, who's going to pay for my $800 worth of damage down my basement? I mean, is the town going to pay for it?
Well, I don't think the town's going to pay for it.
I know they ain't gonna pay for it.
Certainly, you would have a recourse to your insurance company to
I have
take care of that claim.
I have $2,000 deductible.
Well, I believe that the situation in the front of your property is either has been or is in the process of being addressed. Is that correct, Ron?
That is correct, Mayor.
And what's the status of that?
Mr. Martinetti spoke with the engineer, he briefed him and says the project is almost about to start. Perhaps the administrator can fill us in, but there's a history on this that we're well aware of. Mr. Martinetti, I believe, is as well. The project is about to embark. Any day now, as a matter of fact. Mr.
We awarded the bid, is that correct, Jim?
It's been advertised. It's been advertised for bid. We had, I think, 5 bidders. We gave out the award, I think it was last month, if I'm not mistaken, to Genicar. And I believe they're should be starting the work any day now. I can't tell exactly when
You
they're
know
gonna start.
something? Every time I come over here, something tell me a different story. I
Well,
go
we're a
up
whole
there,
lot further
I-
than we were last
I go-
August, Mr.
I was
Martinetti.
here last year.
Yeah.
They told me you're gonna get a contract and all this other baloney. Now it's the same thing now. Now you gotta wait for this contractor, which he's not gonna start till the winter time. Meanwhile, I got damage in my house, and who's gonna, I don't understand that. Now I'm selling my house. I spoke to my attorney. He says, the only way you can sue the town, you sell the house. If your house you don't sell, then you can sue this town. I just bought a house now, in the process of buying a house in Florida. I'm selling the house this summer. So,
Well, let's hope we have the problem fixed by the summertime. All right, so we can get,
that's what they said.
so you can
That's
get a
what you
nice
guys said
value for
last-
your home.
Last time I was here.
We'll have it cleaned up nice. All right? You're just gonna have to bear with us.
I don't understand this here.
I'm sorry.
I called the 2-3 department upstairs up here. Taxes, the water, the Ron is over there. I go in there, there's 4 guys over there sitting down at 2:00 in the afternoon. I says, anybody work? I made 4 phone calls, try to get some information upstairs. They're sitting down and just waiting, and it's baloney, talking. I says to myself, anybody working here? He says, so the secretary says, yeah, we're working. I said, why don't you answer the phone? 3 different apartments, you call up and says, oh, we'll wait from our desk. Call back. We'll call you back. Nobody calls back. The only guy that calls me back is the engineer. Called me back 1 hour later when he said he was in a meeting. Meanwhile, there's 4 guys sitting there. I got a tree. There's a dead branch hanging over the street there. I told this guy, Ron, there, last year, he says, I'll be back next year. I'll be back tomorrow. He never showed up. I was here all day long waiting for him. He never showed up. My neighbor down the street, there's a big branch, about 6 foot tall. It's busted off. It's hanging on the tree there. Kids are walking up and down the street there from school. Nobody give a damn around here. I don't understand that.
Well, sir, I have to disagree with you. We certainly care, and if there are dangerous situations in town, I know that.
Yeah, but you tell this guy, Ron, he don't do anything.
Well, first of all, he's the Director of Public Works, Mr. Romack, and I think that he deserves to be treated with more respect than you're treating him right now, sir. Okay?
I'm
As far as your situation, and I understand your frustration, Jim, I would like to know exactly when the contractor is scheduled to start on his project, and let him know when we know that's gonna happen,
Absolutely.
okay?
He says the contract is out, it's all set, and the
Yes.
man's coming over there and finished one of the roads in Mountainside there. From there, he's bringing the machines right down there, in about 2 days down there. This is about a week ago when I came back from vacation, about a week ago. There's no machines on that road there. That man's not gonna start on my lawn, they'll probably do it in the wintertime.
So I'm gonna find out when he'll start, and we're gonna advise you, okay?
No, I'll be back at the next meeting.
I want you to come back if it's not done by
I
then,
guarantee,
sir.
there'll be more machines on your lawn before next meeting. I guarantee it, Mr. Martinetti. We'll have the work
I
operating.
gotta see it to believe it right
Well, we
now.
welcome you to come
Because
back,
it's
sir,
going on
next,
3 years now.
to come back next
Well-
meeting
well,
if it's not
actually-
done, sir, okay?
Mr. Martinetti, I invite you to come back when we do start the project, so you can let everybody know that the
All right,
project
I
is
will,
underway.
I'll be back.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor, may I speak? I was privy to a large part of the conversation that our engineer had with Mr. Martinetti, and Mr. Martinetti was told very clearly by Mr. Disco that the project was about to begin, and it was going to begin imminently. He didn't have an exact time because he explained to Mr. Martinetti again and again that we have to go with the lowest responsible bidder. That was made very, very clear to Mr. Martinetti. I heard a large part of that conversation. As far as any trees are concerned, we've gotten absolutely no reports of any trees from Mr. Martinetti or anyone else on his street. When we do receive trees, for the record, we've got no reports, excuse me. We've got no reports from you, sir, or anyone else on your street about tree limbs in the last 6 months to a year. When we get reports, they're documented, and we have our people go out and take care of them immediately, for the record, sir. Thank you.
something? I wanna get the film that, I was there, you were standing right back there, I told you about the limb, about the tree. And you said, okay, I'll be back tomorrow, and you never came.
Sir, if there's a problem, please call Mr. Romack, he'll log it in, and he'll make sure that he takes care of it, sir, okay?
We'll be happy to take care of it if in fact there's a problem. Right now, we have no such report.
Any other audience participation?
No.
Okay. We have no executive session tonight because Martha told me we couldn't have one, so, because she's busy with the school board election, so I have a motion to adjourn the public session.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
So moved.